Kyle O'Reilly made a rare podcast appearance. He was on Pro Wrestling for Life with Sean Waltman, of all people. He was talking about his experience in NXT and being a part of the Undisputed Era and what it was like and what went into the Undisputed Era breaking up. Check this out.
You know, who decided and why that it was time to end UE?
So I don't know. Is this how candid should I get here? I guess.
Yeah. Do your thing, man.
Right. Yeah. It goes to show how much trust they have in us as performers. Because it started with just, can you guys come in Sunday and we'll kind of have a booking meeting and you guys can pitch ideas for what's next. And that's what's been great about the entire writing staff there and the powers that be. Like, they want to hear our opinion and run things by us and get our suggestions. And this booking meeting turned into, all right, well, I guess it was not the plan that coming in, we'll bring these guys up and we'll let them down easy and tell them we're splitting them up. It had nothing to do with like an executive decision. This has to happen. Like, it was a true collaboration in the sense of, okay, well then if we're doing this, we got to do it tonight. This is the pay-per-view. We're going to maximize the opportunity and get the most people to tune in Wednesday to see what happened and create more questions. I mean, that's how you want to end a show, like a big pay-per-view show, right? Something crazy like that happens and the UE, what? So I think it's kind of crazy how it all happened so fast and so suddenly. And then literally within hours of like, what the heck, this is happening? Oh my God. And it does suck because, I mean, this has been the best thing that's ever happened to me in my career is this group with these guys, and I've had the most fun and I've learned so much and I've become a better performer. Yes. But just because like we split up now, it just makes the eventual reunion even a bigger deal, right?
Sure. Well, I remember when they broke DX up for the first time, right? And like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, oh no.
It really was time. I mean, as great as this faction was, I would have liked to see them come up as a faction to the main roster. And of course, that's still a possibility. They could do it that way. I would have liked to see, because we've seen things like this before, like the Nexus. When the Nexus came up as a group, it was fucking cool. It's a bunch of new guys that nobody knows, especially back then. But grouping them all together made them cool and made them a threat at the same time. They've tried to repeat this since, and it just hasn't worked out the same. That was a really unique angle that they did. But I would have liked to see the Undisputed Era come up as a group, and then they can break up after that. But that would have probably spelled death for 3 of the 4 people in Undisputed Era anyway in WWE. Because you look at this team, and it was time to break them up. I'm not saying keep them together just because they can all go up to the main roster together. They've been together so long. What else can they do at this point? There's new stories to tell. But it's going to be really hard for guys to break out of the pack now. You got Roderick Strong. The guy can work, but he has 0 personality. And he's older now. He's been around for a long, long time. He's a veteran. He's got his fucking working boots on. He's a great wrestler. But being a wrestler doesn't really get you all that far in WWE. It never has. Traditionally, it's not a wrestling company. It's a sports entertainment company. As far back as since the day you were born listening to this, basically, unless you're an old man. If you live through the 80s and upward, WWE is a giant cartoon with wrestling as its centerpiece, but not strictly wrestling. And that's why there's so many purists out there that didn't like WWE at the time when the territories were all shutting down. It's because Vince wasn't doing wrestling. He never has. It's not his style. So a guy like Roderick Strong is good enough to make it to the main roster. He's not going to make it far. He's not going to last long. I think a guy like Roddy definitely has a ceiling on him in WWE. Same with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. If they bring them up as a tag team, then they're going to do great. If they keep them separated or try to do a singles run with Kyle or something, which Kyle can do singles, I don't think Bobby would be as much of a standout in the singles, but I think Kyle could hang. But again, I don't even want to say Kyle's a charisma vacuum because he's not. Kyle's got charisma in a weird way, though. how he'll play the air guitar down to the ring and all those weird little quirks and gestures and things like that. Kyle has enough personality in a weird way where I think he could live on his own. But Bobby Fish, absolutely not. They're better off as a tag team, but the whole thing is better off as a unit because they can all stand behind Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole has the mouth and the personality and the charisma to take them all to the top. But the thing that Adam Cole lacks is size. He's a small fucking guy, like very small, like deceivingly small. A lot of wrestlers are smaller these days, and I'm not at all the big guys kind of guy, you know. I don't care if smaller guys work, and I don't think it doesn't bother me at all because Adam Cole can work like a motherfucker. But he'll definitely be one of the smallest guys on the roster if he gets the call up. I think obviously Adam Cole's going to have the best shot at success. Everybody says it. I think it's inevitable for a guy like Adam Cole. I don't think it's a remains to be seen situation. I think Adam Cole is one of those special elite level guys that will rise to the top. But it's because he's got the character and the personality and the words. And those are things that a Kyle O'Reilly, a Bobby Fish, and a Roderick Strong don't have. That's why they needed the group. And I think Adam Cole needed the group because it made him more intimidating because he's not the biggest guy and he's not going to be able to physically heel on another guy. You know, he's not going to be able to physically dominate anybody. He's not going to physically be a threat. But with his group, that makes them all physically a threat. And, you know, again, it was definitely time to do something with the Undisputed Era. If you weren't going to call them up, then I think the next best thing to do would have been break them up. Break them up, see what happens. But it'll be interesting to see where all these guys end up over the next couple of years. That's for sure. Go check out this interview. Get more insight on Kyle O'Reilly. Get to listen to him talk a little bit. It's not something that he does very often. His name doesn't pop up on the podcast circuit much. So take the chance and go check that out. Hey, thanks for checking out that clip. Don't forget to check out other clips here on the channel. And while you're there, throw a like, throw a subscribe. And don't forget to check out full episodes each and every Sunday of the Pro Wrestling Podcast.